Welcome back, guys. I'm being a little risky right now, recording on the GoPro, but it's our other one. So hopefully this one doesn't lose the footage, because we had a lot of good footage that went away, and you'll see behind me, made a lot of progress on the hatch yesterday that I recorded for you guys. That is unfortunately part of the footage that we lost. We did get the whole back suspension all together. It truly looks killer, guys. The Function 7 full rear setup for the subframe and control arms. We got our Beaks bar, we got our Apexi World Sport 2 muffler sitting on here, still not hooked up because we got to knock out the front. More on this in a moment. Corey's car we were recording yesterday too. This has been a project that's been going on in the background, waiting on fabrication and parts because we were doing some back order parts. We did a full STI drivetrain into this narrow body, 6-speed transmission, has one of our stage 4 motors in it with our stage 2 heads, and this thing is set up to make well north of 700 wheel. The motor is the little underrated part.
Yeah, but I mean, hey,
we've made more of them, but
we sent stock motors to this power. But if you want it to last, it's obviously there's a determining factor, but I think personally it will last a while.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Corey already knows that our stage 4 is only rated for 650 in our Mustang dyno. Dyno jet, that'd be around the 700 to 750 region. And then past that, he would know he would have to go to a stronger block. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing together. He's gonna enjoy it for a bit. Then worst case, when he gets bored, we can turn it up and he'll know that he can put a stronger motor in it later on. So what we have here is a Ranchbuilt full turbo kit on this thing. It is definitely beautiful. It came out really good. It's in mixture with some of the ETS kit. Has an ETS 4-inch or 5? I think it's 4.
I think it's 4.
4-inch front mount that is coated red. That is Corey's thing. He wanted to have that red theme in here. So we do have a newer style turbo here. This is a 7270, the new one from Precision. So that I'm curious to see how it does as far as spooling up, and then power wise down the road we'll see, and I'll give you guys some more feedback. We've worked in conjunction with this turbo kit with Ranchbuilt to give it the best priority we could. It does fit with obviously the AMS, and it looks like it should have came this way. So really excited to see where this thing goes. Today we're getting this thing fired up, get the break-in map on it. You guys will probably see a little bit on the dyno. Obviously not too much in power poles because we're just simply putting the break-in tune on this today. You guys saw the black Civic just came home, so you're going to see that in the background. We will be tackling that a little bit later. Today our main focus is going to be this, and then you're going to see some of the EG hatch in the background. I want to go ahead and go over some of the stuff that we did yesterday and just kind of fill you in real quick. You're just going to kind of miss out on some of the time-lapse stuff, which was mainly this rear suspension stuff that took a good bit of time, but that's all done. We're almost ready for our engine to go in. As you guys know, we were sent the wrong motor mount, so we overnighted another set. The new set came in. Those are all ready to go. Got this thing pretty much all the way together to go in the car. Injectors are in, fuel pressure regulator, all the PCV hoses are on for all the body, distributor, VTEX oil, you name it, everything's on here ready to go on to get this thing off the stand and get the transmission on. So we're gonna be doing that. I did have to grab just a set of the Master Pro tie rod ends because we didn't have any for our new steering rack, so we have to do that today along with cleaning the engine bay. So you may notice the front bumper is off right now. We had to take that off to get the intake duct out so that we can put our new cold air intake in on here. Like I said, we'll go more over that in a little bit. Right now, let's go ahead and get Corey's car fired up. Chase is getting the battery switched out in Corey's car. Looks like that thing is not holding a good life. Only a year or two old, but I don't want to risk it when tuning this car to have a dead battery and have it brick ECU. So he's switching it out for a known good one. I'm gonna go ahead and go over some of the things on the Honda while he's doing that we had recorded yesterday. So here's the engine bay, guys. Yes, some of it is a little bit cleaner, some is still dirty, obviously, because we got to clean this thing. But you guys really missed out yesterday because Josh from Vivid TI came over and got us all set up. All his titanium bolts, and you can see them here, they look very nice in here. It's definitely a nice add-on for these older cars that do have, you know, dirty bolts, or some might have rusty bolts, as you can see there. So guys, I think this is a very good add-on. Josh has worked hard with us to create a Subaru kit for you guys. So if you go down in our description, you'll see his link to his web store, and you can just take a look at them and see what is out there. He has full Subaru kits, Honda kits, Evos, GTR, you name it. These things are a nice add-on, kind of the icing to the cake of your new build. So if you're building some of these older cars, even the newer cars, guys, these look better than the new bolts. It's something nice to add on. So go ahead and take a look at it. We had talked a lot more about it yesterday, but unfortunately you guys got to miss that. So today, like I said, I really want to see getting the steering rack out of the car, get this engine bay clean, get it prepped and ready for this to go in. We'll see how much time I have today, because I do need to do Corey's car, and then I have Zach's short block. I need to go ahead and install his pistons in, because we need to get that shipped out. So today is going to be a busy day at the shop. Getting some of this stuff done is going to be hard. That's where I've already touched base with you guys. It's hard to run the shop and do YouTube as well. I got to rely a lot on Chase, and he's been killing it lately. So big thank you to him for working hard.
Alrighty guys, so Josh went ahead, he gave me the camera. He's over busy with Corey's car right now, so he told me to pretty much just show you guys how to remove a steering rack out of your guys' EG. So it's pretty simple. I've done it in my car because I had to put the EG rack into my EK, and so it's pretty simple. You want to go ahead and you want to make sure that these bolts actually loosen first. So you're going to have a 17 on these two, and then you have your 14s, and then obviously you're gonna have your tie rod ends. But right here where the steering shaft goes through, I went ahead already and got that all taken apart. You're gonna have a tiny cover, this dust shield that goes around your steering column. And then you're gonna have that little shaft right here. Let me see if I can get a better lighting on it. But you're gonna have this little steering shaft column. It's only gonna go on one way. One will go down onto your steering rack, and then one will go up onto your steering shaft. But it's pretty much just gonna be right there. Those two little shafts, they are held in by two 10mm bolts. So I went ahead already and I got that all taken apart. But let me go ahead, set this flashlight down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get a time lapse going for you guys about how easy it is to just pull that rack out. It's only about, I think it's about 6 bolts, 8 bolts that hold the whole rack in. So let me go ahead and set this GoPro down, and I can show you guys how to get it out. Alrighty, so I'm kind of a dumbass. I went ahead and took out the rack, but it was on time lapse, so you guys might be able to see that. But the whole time I was talking was make sure you get all 8 or 6 of those bolts out. You have 2 on your steering rack, on your shaft, 4 that hold the actual rack to the subframe, and then you have your 2 tie rod ends. Make sure you get those out. Be careful when you take these out if you have any intentions on reusing your tie rod ends. I personally wouldn't. If the rack's already coming out and you're putting a new one in it, I'd just go get yourself a local set at O'Reilly's, and that's what we got. You got the good old Master Pro over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna clean up this rack so Josh doesn't bitch at me that it's dirty. But let me go ahead and set this camera down, and I will show you guys as soon as I'm done on how clean the rack can get, and then I'll show you about how to install it back in the car. So let me go ahead and set the camera down, and I'll be right back with you guys. Alrighty guys, so I apologize. I'm not as good as Josh on recording and keeping you guys updated, but I went ahead and I had to remove this rubber grommet under here because it was angled at a different position. It wasn't matching up with this one, and so they're actually tucked inside of this little ring, this little boot clamp. And so I had to take that guy apart, and then I went ahead and turned that so it would line up on the actual subframe. So the rack is completely in other than in there. So the rack is in with the 4 bolts that hold it to the subframe. Still need to throw my tie rods in, and then I need to throw that steering shaft back in. But other than that, it's a pretty simple, easy install. Just 6 bolts underneath the hood, and then you have your 2 bolts underneath the inside of the car. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these tie rods on really quick. They have these nice little covers just covering them, but let me go ahead and I'm gonna go unbox those Master Pro tie rod ends, and I'm gonna throw those guys in, just make sure everything lines up, and then I'll probably go ahead and keep cleaning underneath this thing, make it as nice as possible, because I know how picky Josh is, and I mean, there's nothing really wrong with that. Having a clean car such as this thing, We got to get the lip mounted back on, but yeah, she's coming together pretty nicely. So let me go ahead and finish wrapping up this install on the brand new rack, and I'm going to clean it up a little bit better. But yeah, she is in there now.
So while Chase has been working away on the Honda that I couldn't break away today, I've been wrapping up the break-in tune on Corey's car. Everything's going perfectly as planned. Super happy how this car is driving. Drives super smooth. It is on wastegate pressure right now. Pretty low pressure. It's on about 10 pounds. I figured I'd go ahead and show you guys just tipping into this thing and doing a little bit of break-in that we do here. So I have it on the dyno still right now. I'm gonna go ahead, set the camera up, let you guys hear this beautiful turbo kit work. So good, guys. I'm excited for Corey. I know he's been waiting a while for this, and I am super excited of how this thing turned out. It is a beautiful car. I know narrow body's not everybody's things, not personally one of my things. He has some plans for the outside of this car. He's just getting the power side of it done. It got done a little bit sooner than the outside because he had issues with his other engine. I believe this one was a source of a Rheinland failure, so he kind of got pushed into doing the power mods first. So with time, this thing will look a little bit different. I know he's going to be doing some OEM STI wheels on this thing, and it will definitely clean up the outside a lot. You may have seen on here the light blinking is the fuel light. I need to take a look at that. It's coming and going. It's got to be a connection problem with that fuel hanger in the back. This does have a radium double pumper in it, so I'm just going to take a look at that connection. The other one is TPMS. I mean, maybe he doesn't have TPS sensors in it, and then it looks like we just have traction control off because we're on the dyno. Thing idles perfect. This is FIC 2150s on pump gas, guys, and this thing drives beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this thing off the dyno. I put about 28 miles on it on the dyno. I'm gonna go put the rest of that first 50 miles on the road so we can get the road test done and get the oil changed at 50 miles, and then from there we'll go 500 miles on the next oil change. Corey will be doing that one. He plans on picking this thing up on Saturday. So that's gonna wrap up on Corey's car. Let's go ahead and get back onto the Honda.
Bam. All right, guys, so I know that I'm pretty bad at filming, but the rack is all the way in now. Everything on the inside of the car is all bolted in. We've got the little boot for the dust shield even on. So with this, I had to splice it all the way open and then take off this little clamp just because the grommet was facing an opposite way, as I explained already. But I went ahead, got the tie rods all put on. I'm just going to go ahead and put them up on the upper control arm really quick so I can see on how bad the alignment is. Then I'm going to go ahead and adjust them. I'm just going to do it by eye. If we have any problems, we'll obviously go get an alignment, which I'm sure Josh is already planning. But the whole rack is already in, ready to go. So let me go ahead. I don't know if Josh wants me to. I'm going to give him a quick call, see if he wants me to put these upper control arms back on for him. And then probably for you guys, we'll possibly get this thing on the ground tonight. I'm not quite sure what Josh has planned. I do know that he went and picked up some motor mounts for you guys. Next day air those. So those are in for you guys, but I will give him a quick call and see if he wants me to put that upper control arm on. So let me get right to that.
Chase went ahead and got that new steering rack in the car and got the bay cleaned up. It's looking a million times better, guys. Really excited for this thing starting to come together. And also, I just got, of course, the shipping notification for our 4-piston ported oil pump for the B series. Always works out that way. Got the shipping notification literally today. I've already had second day shipping on it from when I ordered it. So it looks like this thing's gonna come back apart. I know a lot of you were cringing as much as I was to use the oil pump that was on here. So it is gonna come back apart. We're gonna put the right oil pump on it, and I ordered all brand new OEM seals to go through that bottom because the oil pan was already on when I bought the motor. So we get to go through there, just double check everything's right. Also, the alternator I had bought did not work out. It was not the correct one. So went ahead, and I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place, but I went to O'Reilly's and just got a brand new one. This one's all on. You can see I got the wire harness sitting here, started plugging things in, getting this thing ready, but unfortunately we're gonna have to pull it back apart, switch out that oil pump. That's gonna wrap up today. Probably gonna be a shorter video for you guys, but you're still getting the same content. So we'll see you guys tomorrow's video. Living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground. Living life up in the fast lane. Life, though you limits, you just put them in Coronas, Coronas, Coronas. I've been working, I need that advance with the bonus, the bonus, the bonus. Ain't no thoughts about tomorrow, I'm just living in the moment, the moment, the moment. Full tank of gas and 200 on the dash, bitch, I'm zoning, I'm zoning, I'm zoning. Fast lane, living life up in the fast lane. Hey. Living life up in the fast lane. And I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down, I ain't slowing down. Living life up in the fast lane. Pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground, pedal to the ground.